back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to something slightly different on the channel. Here we have a 2014 Subaru WRX Sti. Now this particular car punts out 296 brake horsepower from standard 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds and a top speed of 159 miles an hour. All powered by its 2.5 litre boxer turbocharged engine mated to a manual gearbox.
So then, boring stats out the way, it's time to go for a hoon. But before we go for a hoon, the exciting part of this really is that you can win this car with Odern. This very car sat right here, you can win for a few quid with Odern. Not only that, but if you use the code on the screen, instead of paying $5.99 for a ticket, you're paying $4.99 for a ticket. So use the code on the screen right now.
And this car could be yours with Odern. They're giving away this very car that I'm about to take for a hoon and about to decide whether or not one of these should enter my garage. Should I be buying JDM? Is that the sort of thing you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments, but make sure you go and enter with Odern right now. Not only could you win a car, you'll also be supporting my channel as well, so make sure you go and get in the mix. It only costs a £5, and this thing could be arriving at yours. Look at it, it's chaos. I can't actually wait to drive one of these. I've never driven an Impreza before. I know that is a shameful thing to say, but I've never actually driven an Impreza before, so really exciting. And I think all that's left to do is jump in and go for a little hoon. Let's have a little look around then inside. It is, of course, as I've said before, a manual. Let's jump in and let's have a little look around. So inside here then, we have a smattering of Alcantara, we have a smattering of carbon, and we've also got the all-important 6-speed manual box, carbon inlaid around everything, flat bottom STI steering wheel, and it's actually keyless go as well. So the key is actually this thing, and you just got your start-stop button there. So no, and you got your start-stop button there. So no key to turn per se. And down here then, next to the gear stick, we've got all the clever bits and bobs. And part of the reason that people will buy these things, we've got Sport Sharp, and we've got SI drive, and we can control the diff as well. There's all sorts of bits going on here. It's complete chaos. Very, very clever tech in these STIs. And in the back here, we've got an Odern sign, but there's actually, of course, space for more adults as well. We've got 3 seats in the back there, and that enormous wing over there as well. So why don't we fire up then? Here we go, here's the speedo then, showing 59,000 miles, but actually what you've got on there as well, you've got the diff and all the settings displayed very cleverly up there on this central LCD little screen. Not only do you have the little display between the speedos, but you've also got this boost gauge up here as well, along with your climate. That is absolute chaos. I can't wait to drive this. Let us crack on then. I'm really keen to see the comments in this video. I want to know what you guys and girls think of something JDM related on the channel. Here we go then. This is my first time driving, I think, any JDM style car at all. I don't think I've ever driven a Subaru, an Evo, a Skyline, nothing. This is my first experience ever on the channel, and it's about -1 on some country roads, so here we go. But I do want to know what you all think. I know there's a huge following for that sort of things, but this is an area of automotive I've not actually covered before. I've not tackled it, I've not covered it, I've not done anything of the sort, so very interesting. Right then, here we go. I'm a little bit apprehensive. I grew up looking at Subaru Impreza, the wagon they used to make. The Subaru Forester, actually. Christ! Right, so power comes from a 2.5 litre flat 4 turbocharged engine, pushing out a relatively modest these days 296 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 is 5.2 seconds, which doesn't sound that punchy by today's standards, but having given it a little tickle there is a huge amount of boost in that engine. Overall first impressions, and the car feels very well built, very solid, and it does feel like it's got a nice heft to it. One of my preconceptions of these styles of cars is the fact they might feel a little bit flimsy, a little bit cheaply built, but this actually does feel very weighty, and it's not rattly or squeaky, or kind of, it doesn't feel as flimsy as I thought these cars would. So overall, so far, very good news. You've obviously got 4-wheel drive as well, meaning that it's grippy as hell, obviously adjustable via the settings on here. We're going to leave it in auto, I think, today on these roads. We're not going to perform any heroics at all. The gearbox has got a nice weight to it. It's a standard 6-speed manual gated shift. No dog leg, none of that nonsense, and reverse is via a little lift up all the way over to the right. Very standard stuff, and it feels very familiar in here already. Seating position, the seat does feel a little bit high. Maybe we can lower that down a little bit. The seats are good, not overly bucketed, so you could use this every single day. The steering wheel does feel potentially a little bit low, but maybe I'm just used to 911s and whatnot. Let's go left here and see what's going on. Now this has got an aftermarket exhaust on it. You get a little whoosh between gears, and you also get pops and bangs from that exhaust as well when you're on it. This is good. This is really good. So UK retail price on the WRX STI was £29,000 in base format. Interestingly, and I got it wrong earlier, I actually called this thing an Impreza. For this generation, 2014 or so onwards, they actually dropped the Impreza name, and this is now simply just known as the WRX STI. Why they got rid of the Impreza name, I don't know, and to be honest with you, I really don't care. Listen to that. I don't know if you can hear it. When you come off the gas, you just get that. I made it a goal when I was younger. I grew up in a generation of looking at Toyota Starlet GTs, Nissan Pulsar GTIRs, your Imprezas, your Evos, your Ford RS Turbos, anything with a wastegate, Fiat Uno Turbos, Punto GTs, all these stupid turboed little cars. All I wanted in my car when I was younger was a wastegate. Let's see if we can get it to do it again, a bit of heel and toe. Whenever I film with O'Dern, they give me a car that I just drive like a hooligan. It's good. It's very, very good. Brakes feel nice and reliable, nice and trustworthy. No gripes there whatsoever. And it feels like a small, nimble car. You don't feel like you're driving around in a barge like a lot of these more modern cars. It's good. Top speed is 160 miles an hour. Whether or not you need that is a moot point. You shouldn't really need it on the whole. But it does feel very planted and very grippy indeed. I mean, it bloody should. It's a rally car. Now, gripes. Any gripes? The interior does feel a tad cheap. That is par for the course for these cars, I'm led to believe. That is the main gripe that people come up with for these types of cars. The interior feels cheap. In actual fact, it's nowhere near as bad as I thought. I mean, I don't really know what else you'd need in here other than maybe CarPlay. We've got Bluetooth audio, we've got all the controls, we've got some digital screens all over the place. I have no gripes in here whatsoever. We've got a cigarette lighter. I think we've got a USB somewhere that I saw. Jobs are good and really. I mean, what else do you really want in here? You don't get a sunroof, but this is a rally car, so you're not going to get a sunroof in it. It's good. It's good. The front end does feel actually pretty pointy. Another previous gripe with Imprezas was the front end was nowhere near as pointy as the equivalent Mitsubishi Evo, but just grips. That flat 4 boxer engine does actually sound really good as well. And I think for the cash that these are at, I don't think you can have much more fun. Yes, it's not a Golf R, but then a Golf R's appeal is the fact it is actually pretty boring. I think if you're after a Golf R, you're not going to be after one of these. I think it's two different camps of people there. This is a hooligan car. I like it. I feel like I'm ticking off hero cars and bucket list cars at the moment. I've driven so many things that growing up I saw as a hero car,
And actually, there hasn't really been anything recently that I've driven and thought, don't meet your heroes. This is another exception. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I actually totally get it now. I know obviously I haven't taken this on a rally stage, I've just taken it around some country roads and actually a town centre. But it's good. It's surprisingly, like if you don't drive like a numpty, like now, it's fine. It's comfortable. The suspension knows what it's doing. You're poodling around town. Now, 4th gear, 20 something miles an hour, poodling around, no gripes. It's comfortable, it's spacious in here, visibility is actually fantastic, even with that bloody ironing board on the back of the car. It's good. You could use this every single day. Reliability wise, I don't think these are meant to be that bad. I think the Evos are supposed to fall apart and blow up a lot quicker than these, but I think if you had one of these and you didn't tune the absolute life out of it, I don't see why this wouldn't carry you around all day every day in relative comfort. It's a good news story. I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed. I don't think getting into a car like this is a bad idea, particularly the older ones like this and even older. As 25 years approaches, they will be accepted into the US and the prices go sky high. We know that. Look at the Skylines, look what's happened to all of those. Look at the pricing on old Skylines. If you haven't looked recently, go and have a look. They're 6 figures for a lot of them. I'm not suggesting these are ever going to be over 100 grand, but what I am suggesting is it's not a bad place to park your money by the looks of it. There is a huge cult audience for these, and I don't suspect a lot of that cult audience is actually on my channel. I think it's a different set of people that watch my channel, but if you are after something new, I would very definitely consider one of these. If you don't win it for a £5 with O'Dern, and by all means you absolutely should enter that, these aren't a bad place to put your cash and actually get into some fun motoring. It's a really cool, fun alternative to the usual German counterparts. This is so fun. I actually need to behave myself. I can't deliver back scraps of metal and a smashed up wheel to the guys at O'Dern. I don't think they'd be too happy with me doing that. I don't think they'd be able to give away a wreck. And it's fun driving as well. You need to make sure you're in the right rev range, otherwise that turbo just doesn't give you any shove at all. At the bottom of the rev range, you've got relatively little. A little bit like the F40, you've got to think about what gear you're in if you're on job and you're pushing on. The surge of turbo is just so addictive, particularly with that little whooshing noise. It's complete havoc. Now, as you know, you can tune the life out of these cars. If it's a second car, a third car, which is a little project, you can push these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of brake horsepower above their standard power. There is no end of things that you can do to these cars. Even in standard format, like this one is-ish, it is a laugh. And I wouldn't actually mind getting something on the channel for around 25 grand as a bit of a project, just to see what I can do with it. So by all means, do leave your suggestions in the comments if you want to see something akin to this. See, we're in 3rd gear, nothing, 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 nothing. And then we've got traffic over here. Absolutely brilliant. I love this thing. For now then, I'm going to disappear. I'm on a really tight time frame today. I'm going to go and give this back to the guys at O'Dern. But if you want to win one of these for a £5, use the code on the screen and you'll be entered into the draw to win this very car. And if you're really unlucky, I will come and hand it over to the winner. A huge thanks to O'Dern for letting me out on this thing. And I hope you enjoyed this little taster of something a little bit different on the channel. I'm kind of using the channel now just to get a little feeler for other areas of automotive. I know I'm quite niche and Porsche and kind of supercar kind of stuff, and I really want to dip my toe into some other stuff and experience and see what is going on in other corners of the automotive world. Don't have a go at me for not being a JDM expert. I don't really know what I'm talking about on this side of things, which you've probably already gathered, overtaking some cyclists. For now, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you enter below. Please go and enter that. Good luck with that. And maybe I'll be seeing you with this car very soon for the handover. For now, see you later, guys. Bye!